59, we've got to graph this function f of x equals x over x squared minus 4. So you got to find all these attributes first, and then we'll graph. But first of all, they already gave you the horizontal asymptote, y equals 0, so you can go ahead and draw your horizontal asymptote right there. And what should we find first? Or what should we do with this equation first? Yeah, we're going to factor the bottom out, so the bottom will factor to what? X plus 2, x minus 2, right. So, are there going to be any holes looking at this expression? No. Because there's nothing that cancels out, so the holes, there's none. Oh, okay. Alright, and then what should I find next then? Yeah, the vertical asymptotes. I already have the horizontal asymptotes, so I'm going to find the vertical asymptotes. And how do I find them? Right, I'm going to set the denominator equal to 0. X plus 2 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. So what are the vertical asymptotes? X equals negative 2 and x equals 2. Make sure you actually write the x equals because these are lines. Alright, so you got to graph the vertical asymptotes at x equals negative 2. And the x equals positive 2. So you can see this graph has 3 regions, which means there's going to be some work to do here. Alright, how do I find these zeros? Or the x-intercepts? It's similar to the vertical asymptotes, but it's not the exact same. So for the zeros, you take the numerator and set it equal to 0. So what's the numerator here? Yeah, x is the only thing there, so you set it equal to 0. Boom, that tells you the x value for your x-intercept. 0, comma, what's the y value on x-intercept? 0, right. So 0, comma 0. So you can go ahead and graph that point 0, comma 0 right here. And how do I find the y-intercept? Plug 0 in for x. Yeah, you know that on the y-intercept, the x value is 0, so you just plug in 0 for all the x's. But if I plug in 0 into the top, then what's this value going to turn out to be? 0. So 0, 0 is also the y-intercept. And that has to be true because look at that point 0, 0, right? That touches the x-axis, but it also touches the y-axis. So if you have 0, 0 as your x-intercept, it's also going to be the y-intercept. And then one last thing we got to write here is what can the domain not be?
X cannot equal 2 and negative 2.
2 and negative 2. Where'd you get that from?
The vertical asymptote.
That's right, it's the vertical asymptotes. Alright, so now let's actually try to graph this graph. So I see this point right here. How am I going to know what the middle region looks like?
You have to find a point to the left and right.
Yeah, you got to find a point to the left and to the right of this. So how am I going to find a point to the left and to the right? How would we do that?
Pick one that's to the left of it.
So like what's to the left of this?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, right. So we're going to look for the y value on this line right here. So that's negative 1. So all we have to do is take negative 1 and plug that into this equation. Since the equation didn't change, you can use either of these. So I'll plug it into the first one. So negative 1 over negative 1 squared minus 4. What's that? That's going to be negative 1 over 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So 1/3. At negative 1, it comes out to be 1/3. So it's about here. All right, and let's see what it looks like when I plug in positive 1. So on this line, which is positive 1, let's see where it lands. Okay, so we're going to plug in 1. So it's going to be 1 over 1 squared minus 4, which is 1 over negative 3. So at positive 1, it's positive 1, negative 1/3. And because we see this shape, That means the middle section is going to look like this. Okay, if that's what the middle section looks like. Remember, you got two more regions, right? The regions are created by the vertical asymptote. So where should my other curves be going? So around this -2 asymptote, should I be going up or should I be going down? So I should be going the same direction like this. Down. Why is it down? What? Alright, so the technical reason is because right here, you see this? The exponent on this factor is even or odd? There's a 1, right? That's odd. Which means it should be going in the opposite direction as the asymptote. So then you can do the same thing for the other asymptote. X minus 2 tells you the x equals 2 asymptote. And what is the exponent here? It's a 1, which is odd. So it needs to go in the opposite direction. So should it be going down or up? Up, that's right. So up would be over here, and then just follow the lines. So that's what the graph looks like. And that is 59.